Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special in-person episode of JaianMusic Notes, something I'm very, very excited about. If you are joining us for the first time today, man, did you click on the right episode? Because we're doing the very first clip show in JaianMusic Notes history. At this point in time, 80 plus episodes have been recorded. Multiple big guests have come on. And I wanted to bring in a familiar voice who has great knowledge about anime music, who's been in the trenches with me, who understands the spirit of the show, who has a good sense of humor. And I really think is at the crossroad of all these like requirements for me to do a clip show with. And that person with me today is Morgan. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm very happy to be here in this special episode.
We're in the same room. We're in person today. It's really nice to have that. Before we begin this episode, I obviously have to thank the sponsor of JaianMusic Notes, Laser Audio Technologies.
Love them.
They make creative effects plugins such as Fram and Glow, and if you use code JaianMusic, you get 30% off at checkout. And they're the first link in the description. Every dollar generated from that code goes straight back into the podcast, such as GoPro Kyo, who does all of the artwork. So, Morgan, for you today, I have complete control on the selection of 12 clips that are extremely representative of JaianMusic Notes. These are my personal favorite moments. We got some funny ones, we got some mind-blowing ones, and we got a lot of fun to be had. So in any particular order, any thoughts before? Actually, I'm so excited for this.
This is, I will say, of everything we've done together, this is the scariest.
Scariest?
The scariest, yes, because I don't know what's coming. Usually I have a little preparation like, ooh, you want to talk about this or that, but this time, you, like you said, you hold all the power, but will you use it for good or evil? We're going to find out.
I think it's going to be for good.
Okay.
For good laughs.
Yeah, of course.
For good laughs.
Nice.
Okay. Morgan, I have here, I believe if my math is right, 12 clips. Hey, if it's 13, the more fun to be had. Do you have a specific one? Is there a specific one you would like to start with?
I'll say there is a Serial Experiments Lane one.
Yes, there is. This one is called Serial Experiments Lane Cheapo MP3s. Casey Pocious and I broke down the soundtrack of Serial Experiments Lane. Apparently, it made its way to the Serial Experiments Lane subreddit.
Nice.
There's a person who runs that subreddit who found the podcast. Was like, "This is amazing!" And then we had a really good laugh at one point because I was like deep diving a little too hard into Serial Experiments Lane and enjoyed. There's a remix to Duvet.
Yeah. Because it never shows up in the soundtrack, I don't think.
Really?
But this is the thing. It is from that era of soundtrack anime CDs.
True.
So, and that is the thing. Like they talk about later in the article, because one of the remixes was labeled as a bootleg, and then it was this like early online distributed thing of, like cheapo MP3s. People did think it was like a bootleg as opposed to like the rip from the CD.
57 tracks.
That's the thing.
120 kilobyte MP3 format. No way.
Yeah.
And sound effects from the series in wave.
You can tell what was important to them.
Why do we get crushed by sound effects every time? Because we do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, we're back in real time. I have to remind listeners when we're back, when we're in and out, because there's even a clip with Morgan in this one. So, we're back in real time.
It's the perfect era for this. It's exactly the right time just for that, But that's what I love about Lane is that it's that weird early internet kind of scare aesthetic, where everything was cheap, but we wanted it anyway.
Yeah, and the thing for me too with Serial Experiments Lane in this conversation, like we had such good talks about like how the weird filtering on the mix was and like all these things, and then like just it was like later deeper in the episode where Casey and I was just like, oh, what's another fun talking point? And then I see this whole thing and I'm like, wait, there's a remix to Duvet, and there's like if you pull out that.
No, that's really cool. Like anyways, that's really nice. Like, I love Lane and I love that weird aesthetic, that kind of like late 90s, early 2000s.
Very bizarre aesthetic.
What's the, why is this song here 5 times?
Okay. This clip is called "Why Is This Song Here 5 Times?" And I did warn Morgan, there is a point where like there's gonna be 2 clips coupled together, and this is the one. This is actually the first. Why is this song here 5 times? That is a great question. The context is me, GoPro Keo, podcast artist, Hotshot Ginger, podcast friend, got together to talk about the soundtrack of Sonic X. Sonic X.
Big Sonic fan.
We'll see for how long. If we're gonna meme it and we're gonna talk about it, we're gonna go full Gotta Go Fast. Hotshot, I do not want. I'm gonna play a little game with you. Okay, I'm gonna try to have you name the first 5 tracks on the playlist of the American version. Okay, what is track number 1 in your opinion?
Gotta
the
Go
first
Fast.
song that. Okay, what is track number 2?
Gotta Go Fast instrumental.
What's the third one?
Gotta Go Fast short version.
What's the fourth one?
Gotta Go Fast short version instrumental.
What's the 5th one?
Gotta Go Fast fist version.
Fifth version. You know, man, I'm starting to wonder if you have a favorite. I can't put my finger on it though.
Gotta go fast.
Subliminal.
It sounds very familiar.
Subliminal music. I need water. One sec. Like, we get it. Gotta go fast. I get it. Why is this there 5 times?
Because you gotta go fast.
Nah, bro. Like, there's
'Cause you're
93
not going fast
songs. 93 songs on this playlist, and 5 of them are gotta go fast. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means, Hotshot?
They have a favorite child, yes.
That means the song OST is 5.37% gotta go fast. That's too high of a percentage. That's not okay.
So it's 5% good is what I'm hearing.
So Sonic X is one of those animes that 4 kids got their hands on. It's one of those weird anime soundtracks that has a hybrid of there's a Japanese soundtrack and there's a 4 kids soundtrack. The playlist, the official playlist on YouTube for Sonic X, the first 5 tracks are Gotta Go Fast and Gotta Go Fast alternate versions.
Yeah.
5.
It's crazy. It's really crazy. Usually you put Gotta Go Fast normal. You would put like the big track first and then the rest. And then at the end, you would put all the alternates.
Right?
Usually, yeah.
That's
This is wild.
insane.
I don't know. That's wild to me too. Like,
Been doing this show for like I said, 80 plus episodes now, and I really feel like with this one we got into the weird part of the internet.
well, that's 4 kids, you know? 4 kids, they can't do anything right, really, you know?
This next one, if you thought that was weird, Morgan, I hate this song title.
There's also a song called I'm a Hedgehog, Not a Cat, but that's not the point.
There isn't. I refuse to.
Yeah, there is. There is.
No,
but that's the point.
there's not. You're lying. You're literally lying.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I can tell you the number.
No. Yeah, tell me the number. I'm going to go there, and it won't be that. So I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
It will be that.
No, it's not.
I'll bet
It's
you
not
he's
that.
looking at it right now.
He can look all he wants. He's making it up, bro. That's AI generated titling right there. Like I don't.
It's not. I promise you.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Shut
it
up.
is.
Shut up and talk. Shut up and talk amongst yourselves.
I don't care. I'm just telling you, this guy thinks he knows like the song titles by heart. He's scrolling. It's not there. You can control F all you want, Hotshot. It's not there, dude. It's not there. It's like, sure, there's 5 versions of Gotta Go Fast, but there's not
22.
even one What?
22. I'm a hedgehog, not a cat. Sonic X, 4 Kids, Jet X OST. You can eat my chilliest dog, sir.
I am so disappointed by 4 Kids. Like someone
He didn't
said
make
that out
it.
loud. Someone said that out loud, and then someone else approved that. That's not right. That doesn't make it right, man. I'm a hedgehog, not a cat. 35 seconds long. I'm gonna have to give it a in real time listen. I think. I don't even know what to think. I don't even. Oh, of course, there's one with no.
I've never heard you more disgusted so quickly.
I am so disappointed right now. Like, I'm gonna put the.
I thought he said he was disappointed in you, and I was just like, Ginger
make
didn't
it.
make it.
Hotshot, how dare you make this
Like-
music?
Like you said, I'm not a music person.
Hey, if that was his first time, that's pretty good.
I
like
can't
you
believe
said,
you made
Diane,
a
I'm not a
song
music
like that.
person. I don't know if it's good or not.
Ginger's like, I have no responsibility for quality. That's not my job.
I don't know if it's good or not. That's so good. I don't know if it's good or not. Oh my god. That's really good. Well done, Hotshot. Well done. Yeah, the titling of songs in the OST by 4Kids for Sonic X is it's sus.
It's yes, I very, very much so.
I'm a hedgehog, not a cat. There's even a song called Breakfast. Like the word breakfast, that's it.
Okay, yeah. Well, Breakfast, I feel like they gave up on that one.
They gave up on a lot.
Yeah. I'm a hedgehog, not a cat. That one, someone had intentions when they wrote that one. That one's pretty clear to me.
I don't know, man, because the thing for me is like these Sonic X soundtracks, they're fun to like talk about. They're not necessarily, at least for the 4Kids version, fun to listen to. No. Well, I mean, you'd probably prefer just going to the original one, the original Jap. Yeah, except for Gotta Go Fast.
Yes, of course. But Gotta Go Fast, it's promoted to it's one of those things where they knew that's what they had.
It's like, you know what? All we need is a catchy hook. We don't need anything else.
Yeah, and then they're like, we're gonna run it 5 times in the playlist. They knew what they had. They're like, look, the only good thing we have is Gotta Go Fast. That's what we're going.
That's all I need. That's all you need, boss. Don't worry, we got the composer to compose it 5 times, so we're good, boss. Okay, so we've done 3 so far. We've talked about I hate this song title. We've gone through the Sonic X memes and the Serial Experiments lanes memes. Anything else you want to go to next?
I'm thinking the swimming pool connection.
Yes, this is a track that a clip that you and I were a part of. We compared Tak and the album, the album Talk from Sigur Rós and the Zankyou no Terror soundtrack. There was a lot of like inspiration from Tak to create Zankyou no Terror, and you made me aware of this, and I always found it so intriguing. The original use of Sun Login Studio was a 1930s swimming pool, Morgan. And
really?
Yes. And what I think it's wild to think that like a once abandoned Icelandic swimming pool gave birth to the sound of Tak. And somehow those same reverbs echo into the fragility of terror in resonance. That these two sonic worlds separated by a literal many oceans speak the same emotional language. And
my God.
This is why I said I have more stuff to say. This is what I wanted to say. I find the connection, if you deep dive, and for some reason, to me, Zankyou no Terror and Tak are so deep diveable. It feels like it's a larger universe than Star Wars to me. There's so much to it. Oh, what are your thoughts?
Wow. I mean, I'm right now. My brain's processing a bit of that. I wasn't expecting there to be the pool connection for these two. Literally dive in the pool, hop out, and you're in. You dive into
what does 12 jump into in the first episode?
I know, no. But that's what I'm saying. I didn't think we were gonna go there. That's why when you said it, I was like, holy crap! Like it definitely. I had the instant imagery because that's when we get a little bit crackpot theory on that one, But the swimming pool, the imagery. Like when I think of Zankyou no Terror, there's like 2-3 moments I always think of, but the first striking moment is obviously the very beginning with the pool. And so when John was talking about the pool, I feel like there is something. There's definitely like maybe some fun conspiratorial places to go in that one, And that was a fun moment to have kind of live the sort of live conspiracy going on, and while we were going through the rabbit hole in real time. It's the kind of fun you get in the podcast. You turn the mic on and you don't know where you're going to end up.
Absolutely. And for me, it's like since that recording, I'm like trying to figure out how can I rope Morgan back into talking about Zankyou no Terror in any capacity, because like that's one of my favorite type of episodes. Terror in Resonance is one of my favorite soundtracks of all time.
I remember for a while it was your favorite anime, right?
It's like top 2.
What's the other one?
It's like Dragon Ball.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. Dragon Ball was the first, like, for like very obvious reasons. I'm pointing to in my room here, but like it was my first track to hit 1 million on Spotify. So it's a very special anime. It's like, it's very important to me, but
It's also a very like, like formative,
yeah, also it is.
because even for me, it's like the first manga I read was like,
You remember going to the library and just like going into the manga section and just like taking like the first 5 volumes and spending a whole day in there?
well, that's the thing is like I'd never like read or watched Dragon Ball, but I was gifted for Christmas like a Budokai 2 Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so cool. I wish I could like, but then my mom was like, you're playing too many video games. So she brought me to the library and I was like, oh, I wish there was like a book of that game that I really like. And I turn around and I see all 42 volumes of the Glénat like in French.
Yeah. Okay. Where do you want to go next?
I'm thinking walk, walk, walk.
Like you just said you did with Run, Run, Run. Like where it's supposed to get you up and moving, and now you're just like, this is just going to be chill. This is going to be walk, walk, walk. That's what this is going to be.
Walk, walk, walk.
Actually, since
That's
you extended it like
amazing.
5 times longer, it'd be
This
walk,
is
walk, walk, walk,
amazing.
walk, 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 walk.
That's the best way to put it. Oh, I should rename it that. Oh, that's really good. Oh, that's really. Is there a thing slower? Like, is there a thing that exists out there that's like slower than walking?
Crawling.
Crawl,
Crawl, crawl, crawl.
Sit.
Lay, lay, lay.
Sleep.
Z, Z, Z.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's hysterical. Z. My new lo-fi One Piece EP dropping next month. Z.
Well, look at it this way. People would definitely not know that you're talking about Run, Run, Run at that point.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's and I didn't drop a One Piece lo-fi anything, but I did drop the Reef Hat Pirates,
Okay.
which is the One Piece Christmas album. So yeah.
That's the fun, the classic chemistry there between the duo.
I would love having Hotshot back on as a guest in any capacity. He's always super talented, and if you're listening to this, Hotshot, I hope you are doing well. Okay, we're moving through these relatively quickly, which is cool.
The Masuda X Debussy.
Yeah. So this clip, to give context, was one of the first and only time so far I've done a podcast with a fellow collaborator on a full-length album, Anime Anthems Volume 4, which this was the album that really made me decide to go the ambient/orchestral route of anime covers. And the last track on that album was unlike anything I've ever done before. And sit back and enjoy and listen tentatively, because I would love to have your thoughts on this afterwards, because we're gonna get audio technical nerdy on this clip. Why is Sadness and Sorrow 9 minutes long? Talk about how you feel about the cover first.
The first time you showed me that, I remember I remember the exact moment. I was just sitting on my desk enjoying a cup of coffee, and then when I saw the file, I was like, okay, why is this long?
Yeah.
Like, come on, we haven't played. I think the rest of the songs, there isn't anyone that goes over 3-4 minutes. But I was like, okay, we keep the same style. We're still doing soft piano, vibey, ambient music there.
Yeah.
And then boom, the bomb arrived.
The bomb arrives on the last key of this. Basically, Sadness and Sorrow, I made it like a fragmented synthesis piano patch. And it's really crystallized in the sense that whenever it's halftime and whenever a piano note hit, it crystallizes off all these little fragments, and it's very sparse and sprinkly and metallic, and it gives a modern edge to Sadness and Sorrow, which is all about anime anthems, giving it a new flair. Here's a classic anime piece melody that you love. Here's a new flair. Here's a new taste. Dunking in this taste. And I was like, I want to go somewhere really random. So I took the last note and I time stretched it 6 minutes long. And I did that 14 times. I layered it 14 times. And then I sent all 14 of them through different reverbs, different Valhalla presets, and gave them these very specific frequency cuts. And then I let that echo out, And I was like, what's an anime track that people would just like not expect it to be an anime track? And that is Clair de Lune by Debussy. Clair de Lune by Debussy? That's an anime track? What are you talking about? That clearly came out before the very first anime. What are you talking about? In Neon Genesis Evangelion,
I was about to say that.
Clair de Lune is a track that exists. So it qualifies as an anime music. But no anime music channel that I know of has covered Clair de Lune by Debussy. So this was what I wanted to make it. Something completely unexpected. And I reached for all the electroacoustic concepts that I go for with Chip Machine. Chip Machine is I'm saying the word Chip Machine right now, and none of these listeners know because I've never talked about Chip Machine yet. Chip Machine is an electroacoustic experimental original music project that I do. I try to release original music on top of the cover song, guys. And I really like it. It's my musical experimental playground. And I wanted to experiment here. And it randomly, but really worked, in my opinion.
It was excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah, I remember like, okay, I'm gonna hear a cloud of reverb for the next 8 minutes or something like that.
Guys, I had
And
him
then-
meditating in his chair.
Exactly. No, yeah, it was so
Yeah.
soft, and then all of a sudden I began to listen to Clair de Lune. I was, wait a minute, I know this.
Yeah.
I remember that you do. Why do I know this? And then yes, of course, the Clair de Lune.
So
I think I asked, what's wrong with you?
yeah, absolutely, of course. No, you would ask me what's wrong with me in that, and anyone else would.
But of course, in a positive way, it was a totally unexpected idea. Yeah, that blew my mind the first time I asked.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's very, very bizarre. I completely understand like everyone's sentiment and everything, but it's something that I wanted to reach for, and I might do again on another album. But this is really bizarre because if you look at like the album credits, you'll have Toshio Masuda, original composer of Sadness and Sorrow, and then Claude Debussy in composer credits on a song. I don't think that'll ever exist anywhere else on the internet. Like,
Probably.
I did a collab of Debussy x Toshio Masuda. Like, think about that. Like, let that hit your brain. Debussy x Masuda? What?
It's like, imagine, I don't know, Koji Kondo and Richard Wagner. Something like that. So, yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So yeah, we have Toshio Masuda x Claude Debussy t-shirts now available on JaianMusic.com. I'm kidding.
Oh, that.
But I should probably do something with that.
Yeah, hey, I'll pick it up. I'll pick it up on my next physical podcast.
But yeah, so I've recorded and like thought about this multiple times. Any thoughts on this whole thing, Morgan?
It's really cool, and it's something where I remember in the like early days, maybe many moons ago, many years ago, because I've always really liked Chip Machine. I think is really cool, and that's one of the projects from you that I would argue I follow a bit more, you know. And I've always kind of wanted to see more and more Bleed. And I remember a couple of years ago, maybe I don't remember when exactly, like you had showed me one of the covers or something you were working on that was significantly different from some of the earlier ones where you were trying to stay more true to what the covers are, you know. And here it was, and I've been happy to see every time I go in and I check some of the newer stuff. I'm always very pleasantly what's the word? Engaged, you know, with the covers, and I love seeing a bit of the crossover of some of these things you're learning and doing with Chip Machine as you're experimenting and all this. Seeing that bleed over to the anime covers makes it nice and fresh, you know. So I love hearing that and I love seeing that. So that's really cool, really cool. And like you said, I don't think that's a crossover that you're gonna hear too many times, you know, if ever again.
No, absolutely. Toshio Masuda x Claude Debussy. First of all, thank you so much for the kind words. I really appreciate that. That creating like a crossover or like an intersection on the internet with those two like genius musical minds. is nothing that I ever thought would be possible. But with the power of anime music, anything is possible, such as that. And I do want to venture to say that I believe Chip Machine and JaianMusic are only going to continue to bleed more and more together. The instrument libraries are reached for Chip Machine and for JaianMusic covers are very similar, and I'm almost like feeling like in a similar mindset the more I make Chip Machine, which this year is like a thing where I'm dropping one new drone track every single day on Chip Machine on all the music platforms, and I'll be excited to see the results of that like later on in the year, like how many people actually like stream that. Like Morgan, we are starting to dwindle down. I believe we only have 2 more of the guest clips before we get into like the very major clips. So we're halfway through at this point. Which one would you want to do between? Let me simplify for you.
Is My Neighbor Totoro in mono?
Pretty well mixed for an 80s movie. LOL. It was one of my notes.
I completely agree with that. Like I said, cutting edge.
Because I was listening to the width of stuff. And, you know, back in the 80s, I'm sure that was when did stereo become a thing, right? Like, when did stereo production or stereo music become a thing? When did stereo music start? 1950s. Okay, it's been around for a long time. So Jacob, shut up. You don't know anything. Yeah. I was gonna say like, oh, bro, the 80s. You know, things were still in mono back then. Just shows how old I am. I'm like 94, baby. I don't know anything. But yeah, so I don't know. I thought the mix was
94 kids.
I thought the mix was incredible. I was like, shit, this sounds like, you know, especially when you're listening on headphones.
This mono mix hits, bro.
Yeah, this mono mix sounds so left right, bro.
That ping pong delay in that mono mix goes crazy.
Oh, that's so good.
So confirmed. My Neighbor Totoro is not in mono.
Yeah, that makes more sense, of course. Close enough. I think there might have still been some 70s mono stuff. Maybe people really behind. Maybe, you know.
But at this point, like everything's at least stereo.
Yeah. By 1980, I think it was like if you weren't,
which My Neighbor Totoro is not in mono. Okay, Morgan, I'm so glad that the cards of faith have made it so that this last clip before we get into the big guests is what it is. I invented a game show that occurred on this podcast called Ears versus AI: The Anime Soundtrack Showdown. Just based on title alone, what do you think the game is about?
I think the game is about trying to guess if something is AI or not.
So essentially, I had trained an AI model for a while, feeding it a bunch of information and asking it to rank 6 specific anime soundtracks. I had Hotshot, GoPro Kyo, Maddie Perrier, another guest that's been on, and ACR, another guest that's been on a lot. And the 4 of them, not knowing what the next soundtrack would be, would guess where they would rank it. First one was Pokemon. So they had a full slot of 6 places to put it. Where do you think the AI would rank it? And then they would rank it as they think the AI would. I would reveal the AI's rankings, and whoever was the closest would win. On this AI model, I trained for weeks, except it was not an AI model. I need to come clean about something, gentlemen. I need to admit something to you.
Is the AI flawed, perchance?
AI flawed? Impossible.
No, Jaden did all this himself.
Listen, there was no AI. There was no AI.
You liar.
The algorithm you've been competing against this entire
It's a
time.
randomizer button.
It wasn't me. It wasn't a randomizer button. It was a person.
Your assistant.
Specifically, my friend RG, who has never listened to a single one of these anime soundtracks. RG, reveal yourself.
Okay, I feel better.
Hi guys,
What?
I'm here. How do you like my choice?
I hate it.
What a twist. M. Night Shyamalan could
RG,
never.
we haven't talked in a while, and now I know why.
It's personal between you and me now.
So RG, please explain your methodology here. How did you determine that Hamtaro is the most popular anime soundtrack of all time?
Well, I just said I listened to one of these songs when I was younger, but I mostly forget all of them. So what I used for my brain thoughts for the most popular one was like, since there's a lot of people living in the country of Peru, and I know that they really love, I think it's called guinea pigs or whatever it's called. I was like, they have a lot of people, so they must all like this soundtrack, reminding them of one of their animal. And that's my reasoning.
That makes a lot of sense if you ask me, honestly.
So essentially, I asked RG, I was like, rank these. He's like, I never listened to on any of them. I'm like, rank them anyways. And he's like, okay, I think Mayhem Toro is the best soundtrack. I'm like, why? He's like, I to me, it's the best soundtrack. I really encourage everyone. I won't spell who won. Someone won in there. I won't say who. Go watch the episode.
Someone got that.
Someone won, and I gave them a physical prize that I mailed to their house. And next time, if you want to be a guest on the game show, I would love to have you on.
It's dangerous. It's a dangerous game show. These twists.
It's fun. It's fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But wow, it does feel like an M. Night plot twist. Like you really pulled the rug on them there.
You had to. We are getting into the very fun part here. Oh my God. Okay, so there have been at this point in time 4 big guests really involved in anime music creation, production. And these 4 people are James Landino, composed for Tower of God, has been part of the Sonic community, DJing at like official Sonic events, big video game music composer. We have Mason Lieberman, who's a big composer for Ruby, and was involved in a lot of like live Demon Slayer shows and Naruto shows, worked on a lot of major projects, was involved with, you remember during the pandemic, there was that Cowboy Bebop cover that came out?
Yeah.
That very popular one?
Okay.
With the voice actor and Yoko Kanno.
It's giving, yeah, okay.
We have someone who sang in a Cowboy Bebop movie, and a person I'm still like so cannot believe was my first guest ever. The singer of the Beyblade opening theme. So we're getting to the cream of the crop here. Who do you want?
So you still want me to know my order choice?
Yeah, you just choose which one we go to. We're getting through all of these regardless, right?
All right, yeah. I'd say we can go, we can start with the first one, the Real Folk Blues Revival.
Okay, so this clip is called Cowboy Bebop's Real Folk Blues Revival, Mason Lieberman Tells All. This project's like the official Cowboy Bebop charity vinyl that you worked on. You did an arrangement with like a multitude of guests, to put it very gently. Gently, exactly. How do you navigate integrating like such diverse talents into and maintaining one musical vision in all of that? That's
I would say it helped a lot that there wasn't that much else I needed to be doing at the exact moment it happened, because the world had shut down.
Yeah.
That project came together so fast. I literally posted on Facebook, hey, I think that we're all at home right now. Does anyone want to maybe jump on a new cover with me? I'm thinking maybe Bob-omb Battlefield or Real Folk Blues or something. We'll figure it out. And a lot of those musicians, there's a bunch of really amazing guests, but those were actually just the people who I mostly collaborate with regularly. Like those are just my friends. And so, I work with Tina Guo on occasion. I work with Substantial and Mega Ran on occasion. I work with Zed Tabani on occasion. And so sooner, it just all kind of came together very organically of people started jumping on, and I started producing it and making it. And I would just go, oh, it would be really great if we could have live strings here. Well, I'll make a call. Let's just see who's available. Because, within a day or two of starting it, I quickly realized, I was like, there's no way that I could afford performance fees for all of these people. So obviously, we're doing this for charity. All right, let's figure out a way to do some good with this. Let's, raise money for a good cause. And over time, it just sort of snowballed. It sounded good, and so people wanted to be on it. And as people got on it, more people wanted to be on it. And before you knew it, I had the full arrangement done and ready to go with all the performances on it within about 2 weeks, within 14 days or so. And so at that point, I had a full recording. It sounded great, of just about everything that you hear in the final version, with roughly one very big exception, one thing that hadn't arrived yet, which was Yoko Kanno and the seatbelts.
Right.
And what ended up happening is Raj Ramaya, who is a singer who's known
I just
for his
interviewed him. That's crazy. Yeah.
So Raj was on the track already, and he said, hey, if you had any interest in like collaborating with Sunrise or something, I could make an introduction. You could try pitching it. And I was like, that would be amazing. So I pitched to Sunrise. I had a prior history working with Funimation, so I pitched to Funimation myself. They were down. Sunrise Music, which is who I initially talked to, was down. Sunrise Music introduced me to Sunrise, the studio, the animation studio itself, because they were different, subsidiary departments. And during the meeting with Sunrise, they basically said, hey, we love this. We think this is really cool. We don't want to get your hopes up. And we want to set like a expectation. But for you to distribute this in Japan, you would need the consent of the original author, of the original composer and lyricist. So Yuho Iwasato and Yoko Kanno, for the lyricist and composer respectively, would have to sign off on this, which is different than compulsory licensing in the West. It's a different process. And so I was like, wow, okay. I mean, I guess that means they're going to send a copy of something I worked on to Yoko Kanno? That's crazy. Oh, well, I won't get my hopes up, but hopefully she doesn't, hate it so much that she tells them that I can't do it. And like 5 days of radio silence go by, and then I get an email in my spam filter through my website's contact form saying, hello, this is Kanno-san's representative. I am the president of Yoko Kanno's company. Yoko Kanno wished to say that she has heard your music. Yoko Kanno wished to say that she liked your music. Yoko Kanno was wondering if you have heard of a band that she is involved with called the Seatbelts, and if you would be willing to perhaps feature them in your arrangement. And I was just like, yes, I've heard of the fucking Seatbelts. What? Oh my God. Yes, tell me anything she would like. I would be honored. Please tell Kanno-san that I would love to feature her in the Seatbelts. Please tell me how we can do that. A day or two of radio silence, and then I get back an alpha, so like a video where all of those squares, like the music video had been in progress at that point. She sent back a alpha thing that we just slotted over the video of all those things popping in and out. So her or her team or whoever it was did that edit themselves. They just did it. And they sent us a stereo recording of the entire band playing. So no stems, just straight up the recording. And I was like, oh, my engineer is going to hate me. He's about to have to figure out how to work with this, with them just playing over the top. But I'm not about to go back to Yoko Kanno and say, hey, actually, could you stem this out for me and send me raw video files? And I'd really like to do this myself. No. She's Yoko Kanno. I'm going to do whatever she says. So, that was how we got those files. And I basically ended up going through the arrangement, and I artfully tried to carve out certain sections to allow as much space as possible for her band to perform and sound good. Because remember, at that point, there was already an electric bassist and a drummer and a full ensemble playing at the end of that song. And then she just layered over the top of it, basically. So I was like, okay, we're going to figure out how to do this with two bassists. Or maybe one of them's just going to stop right here. Oh, but Kanno's bassist is playing acoustic bass, and we had electric. Oh, man. I'm going to have to find a way to make this sound good. I have to give credit to the mix engineer, Masahiro Aoki, who is himself a legendary composer. I am so honored to get to work with him sometimes. He was the lead composer of Street Fighter V, amongst many other things. Absolute rock star. One of the greatest guitarists in Japan. and he was mixing. And so, we had fun. We had a good time.
That sounds like I'm so mind blown because I remember watching that when during the pandemic, and like I make like cover anime song stuff on Spotify and YouTube. That's like I do it for fun, and like this show is trying to kind of complements that with like speaking to people like you, but like just I had no idea this was like was happening, and this dropped, and I really want to like forget that we're in an interview for a second, like human to human during that time when like I think a lot of people's mental health, like even mine, were going down because we didn't know what was happening.
It was a tough time for all of us.
Exactly.
Objective. That's why I wanted to do it, is because like we needed something to do.
You helped me in that way.
That's
what I'm trying to say. You helped me in that way, and to know the story of that, like I really appreciate you having the initiative and the wherewithal to pursue it to the end. Like that's Mason. Like that's incredible. That's really like that really touches me to hear that story. Like I'm really grateful to even know the background of the production of this is so interesting to me as a huge fan. Dude, fan.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
I say pretty regularly that it is one of the most meaningful projects I think I've ever gotten to be a part of. And all of the people who are a part of that production with me are people who mean so much to me. And so, it has been something that has, in a really wonderful way, kind of followed me around ever since. Of like,
if you haven't already, we're back here. I'm here with Morgan, JaianMusic Notes. That was a long clip. Yeah, wow. Go watch that full interview, guys. There's so many gems in there.
Yeah, and that's really cool. And Bebop's one of my favorites. My favorites too. It's really cool, and it's gonna definitely once we're done this recording, I'll have to go back and check out that cover because I don't think I've heard it since probably COVID. Really, really cool stuff. Like it's that's kind of the fun thing about sometimes you want to work with artists. I can't tell you how many times I've heard someone being like, oh, just in case, like, oh, it's probably not going to go anywhere, but I'll reach out just to see. You reach out to artists you like or whatever, and you figure they probably won't reply, and the odds are they won't reply. But if you do it a couple times, you might be lucky. They might. The chance is never zero. And this is the proof of that right there.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
It's one of the I want to like when he's talking the whole time, like obviously you get his POV, like his camera, the camera's on him, but like my mouth is like wide open, and I'm like, I am currently speaking. I am officially 1 degree away through this interview to Yoko Kanno because of this conversation with Mason Lieberman, and to know like the background of how like a really touching cover occurred really is insane. It's so insane to like know the background of that and to be like able to like talk to these people. Mason Lieberman, I just reached out on his website, and like within the same hour he was like, yeah, I'm down to come on your show. I couldn't believe it.
Nice.
So yeah, very, very cool clip. I believe we should continue on the Cowboy Bebop train here.
Okay, yeah.
Some more Yoko Kanno conversation to be had. This is one Raj Ramaya who sang for the Cowboy Bebop movie.
Sang Ask DNA. Right?
Yeah, Ask DNA, exactly. Was a guest on the podcast too. Isn't that crazy to say out loud?
Yeah.
That someone who sang for the Cowboy Bebop movie has been on this very podcast that you're on right now.
I love that song too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's insane to me. It's amazing. So how Raj Ramaya met Yoko Kanno and created his iconic Cowboy Bebop voice. Yeah, you mentioned Yoko Kanno, and I think it's a cornerstone of your work for sure. It's definitely something I hear the influences with listening to your music. And when we mention Yoko Kanno, we must mention Cowboy Bebop. It remains one of the most iconic anime soundtracks of all time. And I would love to, like, if you could take us back to like the story of how you first got connected with Yoko Kanno.
Yeah, well, as I mentioned, the TV commercials, as a singer, my voice was really in demand as a session singer in Japan. So I was getting a lot of calls from agencies and management companies who wanted me to write songs with different artists and also to sing TV commercials. because they love these Beatlesque voices in Japan.
Oh,
My voice is Beatlesque, and it fit for products, and then so that was my in. A lot of kind of big time composers were actually making their living writing TV commercials,
right.
and so I got a chance to become good friends with them because they'd call me up and say, "Can you sing this?" And I'd go down to the studios with my agent, and that's how I met her. Okay. I was singing for some, I can't remember what it was exactly. I've been asked many times, but I'm pretty sure some kids products.
Okay.
And she was working in this a tiny little studio in I think it was in Roppongi. And I remember meeting her for the first time and singing some commercials for her and getting to know her and her manager. At that time, she was with a company called Grand Funk, I believe, as a composer. And this is before Cowboy Bebop, pre any of that anime. It was just the beginning of that anime stuff, like late 90s, before all of that stuff really started. I think she was dipping into it, but it wasn't there. And then again, like I said, I met a lot of composers who started in that sort of underground, dingy little studios writing TV commercials world. It was an interesting world. So yeah, that's how I got started. That's where I met her. And then she reconnected with me years later. And said, "Hey, I have some jobs for you to sing for something called anime." And I was like, "I don't know what anime is," and I don't think anybody really knew what anime was at that time. And and that's how we got started, basically.
Wow. So how do you, from that starting point, go into singing Ask DNA, and like how involved was Yoko Kanno with that, like the vocal direction, or like was it freedom to interpret how you wanted? Like how do you jump from the beginnings to singing a very significant song for the Cowboy Bebop movie?
Well, she at the time, as I mentioned, a lot of the Japanese composers and songwriters wanted like a Western influence,
right?
So a new flavor in their music. They wanted the British taste, the North American taste, and so there were a lot of collaborative songwriters. Not a lot. There was there's a group of collaborative songwriters that had moved to Tokyo, like me, and wanted to get involved, and so they would invite us to help them demo, right? So we'd write lyrics, so we'd write some melodies, and so I got signed to her label, Victor Entertainment. So I was writing for a lot of different people. I was demoing lots of material, and she was one of many people that I was working with demoing material. So I'd be in my apartment writing some songs and making a demo and sending it in every week, and so she was the most successful, one of the more successful ones. But there were lots of other people I was doing the same thing, co-writing. And I, of course, co-write other songs on Bebop too. But at the time, we were kind of ghostwriters, and so we were just collaborative writers. That we weren't the stars, so we were in the background, kind of working with people, which went on for many years on the label. And so that would be it. She would send a demo, and she'd say, "Sing something on top of this," or I would write an idea, write some lyrics, and then send it over, and she'd say, "Okay, change this, change that," or "I like it. Let's find somebody else to sing it." And that was kind of the same sort of pattern, not just with her, but with a lot of different composers and artists in Japan at the time. Most people didn't speak English, so they needed lyrics, and they didn't have that sort of Western sense of melody. They were sort of figuring out how they were supposed to sound. They wanted to incorporate it, but they're like, it's not very legitimate if it's a bunch of people who studied in Japan writing songs that are supposed to be kind of American or Canadian influenced, North American influenced songs. They needed that sort of that factor in there to make it more authentic, I guess, right?
Morgan, you told me, "Hey, the cinema is playing the Cowboy Bebop movie."
Yeah, we went to see it in cinemas. That's true.
So I went with you, and then a few years later, sat down with the person who sang in that movie. Yeah. What a full circle moment.
It's true. It's true. It's very cool. And it's always a highlight. It's when you watch the movie, you think, "Oh, are we gonna get like the music from the show? Or are we gonna get like Tank and all this?" But then you get Ask DNA, and it's such a curveball from the show, and then you realize like, oh, actually we're gonna get original music in this movie. And that's one of the great things, is that the movie, you get a nice new, you think, even the original soundtrack has like so many albums to it, but it's nice that even the film decided to add even more to the canon, which is really great.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's I love Bebop. I love the movie. And this is an awesome interview to have there, and he brings up some good points too about like kind of people wanting influences from different places, and especially like bebop is of course anime, so it's made in Japan, but it has such a strong Western influence that it's trying to not be what anime was at the time, right? It has a lot of aesthetic choices, and they are cowboys. Cowboys is a Western thing, so it's really it makes sense that they were looking outside for that, and that really checks out.
Absolutely. And the thing too for me is that he really goes into detail as to how he and Yoko Kanno got connected, and it's once again like one of those things where like I'm literally talking to someone who like shaped my childhood. Like it's insane to think about that. Like those people, they're regular people like you and I, but they have such a like through the power of like anime and specifically anime music, they leave this like imprint on our heart. That like, As DNA is a phenomenal song, and Raj is also someone who sang in Wolf's Rain and other animes. Like this person's like very talented anime vocalist. Just like what a beautiful like privilege to be able to pick these people's brains. We go to our second last clip here. I believe it only makes sense to end with a specific clip. I interviewed one James Landino, who composed for Tower of God. James was someone who's like very able to just kind of give it to me how it was, like really explain it to me and give me like a clear picture very quickly. And I like his style of answering a lot. So I felt like there's so many clips that was hard to pick. I kind of went with this one because it's the most anime music one, and this is at the end of the day an anime music show. So James Landino breaks down the music of Tower of God.
Okay.
If we go to like an anime like Tower of God, like I'm a huge fan of that series. So seeing that you worked on that, like I'd love to like just pick your brain about like how that came to be, what the process was like for you, like anywhere you want to take it with that.
Sure. Well, with Tower of God, I got to, of course, give it to, one of my close friends, Kevin Pankin. So he's the reason why I got in the projects. We've worked on a few projects over the almost past 10 years now. And so he came to me like, hey, I'd love to have you on a song or two for the series. I'm like, hell yeah, put me in, coach. And so when it comes to anime versus even film or TV or other visual media, the biggest difference when you write for a Japanese produced anime is, unlike film or TV where you scored a picture, meaning that you're writing music to what's happening on screen, in most cases, right? With anime, you're more just writing for a set of moods. And so for an anime, I was never writing for one scene. I just wrote like, hey, we need a song in this style, this length, like this. And then normally a music supervisor who's in charge of the anime will then go in and place the songs appropriately as needed. So that which actually I prefer. I personally don't like to create to picture that much. I find it just a bit restrictive, and it's just, to me, it's not as fun as just writing for a general vibe or mood. So for anime, I much prefer that creative process.
That's cool. That's interesting. It's very similar to like older like certain TV shows, because like today shows and film are produced more similarly than they've ever been with streaming, because now we're doing 6-episode TV shows and all this that it's basically a movie but spread across 6 episodes. But when you go to older TV, like when you would watch a show, usually they would compose the music, but the themes would play every episode, or they would play every 2 episodes, right? If you watch like Dexter, like Dexter they didn't score every scene like to picture, right? A lot of the music was reused across each episode. And so that's the thing, is this is giving more like older TV, where essentially like you compose a lot of music, and then because you can't do, like, in my opinion, like you could try, but like it's harder if you have 20 episode seasons, or if you're an anime that's going to go on for 50 episodes. If you score everything to picture, it's not going to work, right? Like you're going to end up with like it's probably good to have those kind of like those pieces of music where you can sort of like you can actually like that are already done and that are also recognizable from episode to episode. When you hear that cue that the mystery like is getting like something's happening, right? That's serious.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense to me, like that's cool. That's really nice.
Yeah, being someone who like has studied film music, I really related to his Like I just compose a vibe. I like that a lot more than like composing in like a Mickey Mousing style where like it has to be like almost like so specific to the image, the soundtrack. Like here's the vibe, and then the music supervisor will place. And the fact is, you'll get music beds. You will get like just the bed, or just the melody, or just the percussion, or just a cut down version or a stinger version. Like there's gonna be enough for you to choose what you want musically in there.
Yeah, yeah. I do a lot of doing music to picture in a lot of projects, and for me it really depends what kind of music. I find that if the music is very traditional kind of music with like instruments and stuff like this, I find it particularly annoying, and I don't think scoring to picture for me is not something that I enjoy, because I don't really want to stop the melodic phrases here and there. Like I like to let these I'm always dissatisfied. I'm always like, oh, I wish I could have that one split second more. But when it's more experimental music and stuff like this, I tend to be able to work a lot more with the scoring to picture. And that's really just how those music genres kind of work. But in general, yeah, like it's something where I think I even would prefer, when I make my own film projects, I kind of like doing, I'll do the edit, but with big music sections to be a bit loose, so that once the music comes in, the music, you're scoring like half to picture, but you don't have to worry too much about hitting those beats. Just roughly go there, and then I re-edit. Sure everything clicks properly.
Right.
If you don't have to screw everything up, or if you do come up with an idea that you think kind of works nicely, it's kind of like it's not so set in stone. That's like, hey, this is the final edit. If whatever you compose doesn't work with the final edit, it's, we have to throw it out. So instead, what I do when in my own film making is that I do it where I'll edit, and it'll be the rough edit, and then you score, and then I'll re-edit.
Okay, we have one last clip. This is the first guest ever in JaianMusic Notes history in terms of an interview. I had never really, I kind of got into it a little bit. I'll contextualize it a little bit more here. I had made an Anime Anthems Volume 3, all these chiptune covers of anime openings. One of those was the Beyblade opening. I threw it up on SoundCloud. And about over a year ago now, by the time people are listening to this, almost 2 years ago, I was on a gig. I do like AV work on the side, and I get a notification, a SoundCloud comment notification. And so it was like congratulatory of the cover. It's like, oh, this is really cool. Still out here. I am the original singer. I'm like, what? Let me look. So I copy and paste the name into Google, and it throws me a Wikipedia article of Lucas Rossi. I'm like, Lucas Rossi? I scroll down and I see Beyblade theme song singer. And I am like, there is no way that my cover has just come across the ears of the original singer of the very song I covered. Like, this is where it gets too real, or like it's working too well almost. And so, as one does when they have a podcast about anime music, I slid into his SoundCloud DMs. I was like, check your DMs. I commented back. And I basically asked him if he wanted to come on the show. And he said yes. I couldn't believe it. And so this is Lucas Rossi speaking on recording the opening of the Beyblade theme song, Morgan. I need to ask this as a huge fan of this show. Like, please tell me like your experience like recording the Beyblade theme song. Like, how did the opportunity come about? Like, what was the process like? Like, if you can give me A to Z, I would be so intrigued to know.
It was actually, okay, the first band I was in, the band I was just telling you about,
right,
was called Cleavage, right? And Martin Kuchai, who I co-wrote it with, and that he just happened to be at a show of ours, and he's from Prague, okay, so he has like a super thick accent. So I was, after our show, before on my way to go get the free beer shit, he's there, he's like, hello, my name is Martin Kuchai, it's a very good set. And I was just like, thank you, wow, thanks, man, where are you from? And he told me about, he was just such a sweet, sweet, innocent, gentle soul, you know, with all these maniacs around, like, hey, bro, fucking. I'm like, thank God this guy's rad. And he's like, we kept talking the week after that. He was like, he called me and he's like, I have this this thing that I'm doing for television for a show, and like I would love for your voice to like help me with it. And I was like, sure. So I went down to like Queen Street or something, like far down in the abyss of Toronto, and it was like midnight, and it was just this little room that he rented where, you know, he had a couple screens, a couple preamps, and his guitar, small, like very small, a production room where you do demos and stuff like that, or scoring, you know. So I walked in and I see these images of what everybody knows today as Beyblade, right?
Right.
And at that point, at that time, like I was like, I had no fucking idea what's going on here. Like, does this guy like cartoons? Like, I didn't know it was anything to do with what was on these two screens of his, you know? And he's like, this is gonna be Beyblade. It's gonna be like a cartoon, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what do you mean? What do you, so are we doing a song? He's like, yeah, we're gonna do it to the do it to like what we're looking at. I'm like, wow, that's fucking wow. How do you do that? And you know, 2 hours later, you have what has been like an anthem for millions and millions and millions of people, and that turned into toys and fucking. I was at a convenience store here in America, right? I had my son with me. He was like 3 feet tall. I'm holding his little chubby hand. You know, I was getting him like a couple of like just treats. You know, it's a trick for dads to make your kids like calm down a bit for the moment, because then they get the sugar and then you're fucked right back again. So I'm bringing him in, and he's like, "Oh, Dad, it's the Beyblade." And he had a little lisp. It's the Beyblade. And I go, "You know Beyblade?" And he's like, "Duh." I go, "What the fuck?" And then also I felt so proud. My chest kind of went like, and I went, "You know your dad sings that song." And he goes, "Yeah, right, Dad. No, you did no." And I go, "No, I swear to God." So I bought him one. He's in the back seat, like, fucking just ripping it up. And I'm like, yeah. So I'm driving. I turn around. I go, "Yep, that's your dad." So it was a monumental, like life-changing moment for me and my son. You know, Beyblade. Thank God, man. I'm so glad that all those millions of people loved it, and I was a part of it. That's just a blessing, you know, and so
blessing.
random. But I don't believe in random. I believe that God is just puts us in situations that are either good for you or test you to be good, you know?
Absolutely. That song has an energy that I think represents your music very well as well. So I really think that the choice of having you sing it makes so much sense, because there's this like action and intensity and energy that needs to be carried in this show. And the opening, you know, when you hit, I've said this before, when you hit play on any anime, any show, like the opening song is the first thing we listen to. So we want to be in the mood. We want to get hyped up. We want to feel the energy. We want to feel like ready. And they did it right. Dude, like all the feels. I'm so proud of that recording. I'm so proud of that interview. And the Beyblade theme song recorded in Toronto?
That's one of the things that I carried from that. Was like, hey, you know, he's like, "Oh yeah, go in Toronto." I'm like, hey, what? Wait.
Queen Street.
Wait a minute. Nice, really cool. Really fun clip to and you know, a bit of a touching end there with the sun and stuff.
Yeah,
like it's just kind of awesome, because that's the thing, is it really kind of, you know, like anime obviously carries through to people in so many ways, right? And yeah, I remember, you know, I remember the Beyblade explosion. That was crazy. That was insane on the primary school grounds.
Yeah.
You know, But yeah, really cool clip. And yeah, that was, so you said that was your first interview like this, right?
My first Giant Music Notes interview ever was the singer of the Beyblade theme song. Someone who's also Lucas Rossi has sang on like 3 Days Grace.
Oh yeah.
He won a reality show back in the day called Rockstar Supernova.
Oh, you know, I actually think I might have watched this with my family.
He's the winner.
Oh really? Okay. My God, it's been so long.
I know it's been a minute
for me.
sure.
For me,
No,
I
for
haven't
sure.
watched much of that stuff, but with my family, we loved watching. There was that one, and there was another show like this that we would watch.
All that to say that like being able to pick someone's brain that's performing at that level, like I said this on previous recordings, like that Lucas Rossi interview like plays in my head like almost every day. Like I think about it. I think about like how he looks at music and how he thinks about music. And I'm like, this is like one of the most successful people I've had the chance to like share a conversation with. Like I'm going to remember what is applicable to me and like just like absolutely like lean into it. And I think it was such a lovely conversation to have. So yeah, that was all 12 clips for today, Morgan. Any closing thoughts?
Well, I'm happy to be here, you know, physically too.
Yeah.
Very interesting, you know, yeah, but I'm always happy, always a pleasure to be here. And it's nice to get that little clip show. You know, it's nice to get a little bit of a rundown of some of the recent moments, you know, to have happened on Giant Music Notes.
Yeah. Thank you. And only more to come. A reminder to everyone that the podcast is available in your favorite podcatcher. New episodes drop every single Monday. And a big thank you to everyone who's listening. A big thank you to everyone who was featured on the clips today. A big thank you to you, Morgan. And a big thank you to all the listeners. You can use code JaianMusic to get 30% off at Laser Audio Technologies. They make creative effects plugins every $1. Yes, shout out Laser.
Love them, big fan. Yeah, big supporter. I can second this one.
Yes, and also a big thank you to GoPro Keo for all of the artwork. I am at Giant Music on social media, and giantmusic.com is my website. Morgan, feel free to promote whatever you want.
Well, you know, the social media for me is Morgan the Alien on Instagram, and that's gonna be it for now. I am working on some big stuff, but that's gonna be for another time.
I love it. So for myself and Morgan, this has been another episode of Giant Music Notes. Goodbye, everyone.